It'll come flying out here. There we go. Got it in the oil pan, draining in there. Oh, that's perfect. CJ here. Welcome to CJ's Garage. Today we're changing the rear differential fluid in a 2022 Honda CRV all-wheel drive. Calls for 1.3 quarts of oil, and it's you got to go to the Honda dealership to get the oil. We got 2 quarts of dual pump 2 fluid, and then also it calls for 2 crush washers. So we got an 18 and 20 millimeter for the crush washers. We'll be doing it under the car, so we need a hand pump. We got a hand pump to pump the oil in, and then we have a breaker bar and ratchet for the tools we need. First thing we want to do is get the car jacked up and get it on jack stands. So let's get started. Once you get your car jacked up and on jack stands, I usually grab a level, and you want your car to be as level as possible. Let me turn you around there. I usually just throw a level at the bottom of the edge of the car on the frame there. And then you can see right there where like the bubble's right in the middle. Whoops, sorry, didn't have you in the right spot. So we're close enough, but the car's on jack stands. Got to elevate it up so we can fit under the car. The rear differential box is pretty much a gearbox between the 2 rear tires. First thing we want to do, now we shed some light on the subject, is find our 2 ports. Our drain port is on the passenger side right there. I think it's a 3/8 drive. Yes. It's a 3/8 drive, so it's the drives I had. So we'll use a ratchet to take that loose. But first we want to check to see where the fill hole is. Let's get on the other side. I think it's on the driver's side. And yes, the fill hole's on the driver's side. And it's also a 3/8 drive to take it off. And we're going to take this loose first. We want to take this loose first to make sure it's loose. It was good advice that I heard from somebody else on TikTok. I don't remember their name, but thank you very much. So if you don't happen to get this loose and you drain your oil on the other side before you get this loose, and for some reason you can't get this loose or it strips out and you can't fill it up, and then your vehicle's down. So that was great advice. So let's loosen this first. Let's see if we can get it loose. Okay, I was able to break the drain plug loose. As you can see up in there, it's loose. It's moving around. But we'll just leave it loose, sitting there like that. Let's go ahead and try to get the drain plug loose on the passenger side of the car. But I had to use my 10/8 extension. Is the only way it would fit in there behind this bracket. And the breaker bar. And the breaker bar I couldn't get loose, so I had to put get some extra leverage there. So a little extension to the breaker bar I put on the end of the breaker bar to be able to break it loose. But got her loose. Let's get the drain plug loose. Okay, I was able to get the drain plug broke loose. I ended up using a breaker bar, small extension, and also had to put another extension on my breaker bar because my breaker bar is not that long. So those are the tools I used to get it broke loose, and now my ratchet's on there, but I don't even need the ratchet on there. Turn off with your hand. But let's get this drain plug out, and we'll get the oil drained out of it. The oil may come splurting out, so kind of be prepared for that. You might want to hold your plug on there for a second, let it drain out slow. It'll come flying out here. There we go. Got it in the oil pan, draining in there. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so let's go let that drain out, and we'll fill her up. And at the end of the drain plug here, you'll see a magnet on the end. It collects all the metal dust. So you can see a little bit of metal dust on there, but it actually don't look too bad. So we want to clean that off before we put that back on. And also, we're going to put a new crush washer on it. I think this one's the 20 millimeter, and the fill plugs, no, the drain plug's 18 millimeter, and the fill plug's 20 millimeter. Put a new crush washer in, clean the drain plug up, and get her put back on once it's empty. And now that we got our oil all drained out, we got our drain plug magnet cleaned off and new crush washer on there, 18 millimeter one. I'm going to go ahead and get this installed and get it torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. All right, now that we got our drain plug torqued down to 35 foot-pounds, let's get our fill plug removed. We'll clean it off and put a new crush washer on it. Let's go ahead and get this fill filled up to 1.3 quarts. And our pump situation here is not perfect. My pump situation, it's made for a 5 quart jug. And obviously it's not fitting in my jug properly, but there's still a stem sticking down in there. So we're going to make it work. I got a nice long tube on it here with a thing you can stick in the end of the hole and it'll stay in there and I'll still be able to pump it in there. So let's go ahead and get it stuck in the hole just like that. And it'll stay in that hole. And what we want to do is we'll keep on pumping that oil in there until you start seeing that oil come out. When that oil comes out, it'll be full. We'll put our cap back on, tighten it down, and we'll be done. So let's get her done. All right, now that we're pumping, we got our second quart on there. We should start seeing it come out of the hole here in a second. All right, there we go. We see it coming out. So now we want to go ahead and pull the line out and put the cap on it, and she's full. Now that we're done filling it, got the fill tube out of there. Let's get the drain plug. We cleaned the drain plug off. Got the new crush washer on there. Let's get the drain plug on here and let's get it torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. Okay, we got the fill plug torqued down. We got brand new oil in it. We got the drain plug on the passenger side torqued down. Now all we got to do is lower the car down to the ground and call it a day. But that's how I changed the rear differential fluid in a 2022 Honda CRV all-wheel drive. Everyone have a great day. CJ out.